Hello and good morning. This is Andy McCann here with Fitness, Food, and Finance, helping you to try to lay a firm foundation in those three things. And this time we're doing financing, and we're going to do, well, not financing, finances. And I'm going to go down AIs because it is a huge topic. And I think many folks inside and in my house are divided on what it's going to do and how it's going to work. And I just think fear is the wrong answer. So if you're looking at this from a feel-for perspective, then maybe you're going to enjoy this little conversation. Well, that's not a conversation, is it? You're just listening to me. If you think this stuff is on fire and you're looking forward to it, yeah, you're probably going to really like what I have to say because you're already engaged in it. There is probably no person that I know of that's utilizing AI before all of this came out and to the fullest extent right now than my brother. So I'll get him on for another interview so you guys can hear what he does. But essentially, imagine the Wizard of Oz behind the green curtain with all the stuff going on. That's him. He is spinning so many tools with so many computers at the same time. It is insane. Is his job secure? Man, I'm pretty sure because I don't think anybody could spin tokens like he does. So a token is just an effort, a choice, an effort, whatever. It's a unit that they come up with to say, hey, you can spend and it looks like this. So I'll go into some of that too. But essentially you'll buy like ChatGPT, you can get it. Well, actually you can use it for free, but I would recommend at least getting the $20 version. Getting the first tier of any of the software is better than the free version. It will remember stuff. Like I just did an outline for this episode and said, hey, you know me and our situation. When you write this up, add in there the stories we've talked about with Evan and Levi. So Evan and Levi are my two sons at UGA doing a computer science degree. And this is near and dear to their heart. Their mom says, don't do computer science. You won't have a job. I say, even the grocery store is going to hire a computer science person. They're going to be so ubiquitous because everyone's going to want somebody that can do this. If you know AI, you've just become an expert in everything, which does hurt some jobs because you need the expert to know all that. No, I would say the stuff that is super defined and process oriented can be in a big spot, a big pickle. So you take like a lawyer. The rules are on the books. And it's a system, like engineering, it's a system that's well known and has to work. But I still think you need a human there to say, hey, you're missing some of the spirit of the law. So yes, it'll be helpful. Yes, it'll be disruptive, but no, it's not going to get rid of lawyers and get rid of engineers. That's just not going to happen. Okay. All right, a little coffee time. My throat is scratchy. So yeah, let me just say it like this. I do think AI is coming for your job, just like every other technology that's out there. Companies want to be profitable and they're going to insert technology into wherever they can. Humans want to be efficient or lazy and they want to insert technology or ease of use any way they can. I use Google Calendar. Why? Because it's way easier than paper calendar. It was tough for me to get over the hump of getting into the calendar. I just liked the feel of it. Like when we play D&D, I still use paper. Everyone else has their laptop up. I'm still using pen and paper. Yeah, it's a little slower. I just pre-plan my moves. And sometimes I miss out on things because I forget that's not on the paper. But I don't care. It's what I want to do. It's the fun of it. Man, my throat. Okay. So AI is coming for your job. That's a reality. But it's not coming for you. It's coming for the lazy and the easily dismissed. Okay. So if you've got a job where you're lazy and easily dismissed, that's a whole other problem. If you've been silently quitting, then, well, you're about to get quitted. So don't silently quit. That's the train where people try hard not to work and see if anyone will fire them. I don't understand why anyone would do that. That's just, it's not in my mentality or wheelhouse. That's just, I don't know. That's just crazy. That's crazy talk. Damn it. Okay. This is definitely not a fear podcast or episode. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to actually help you feel better about what's going on and help you in the end take some steps. My goal is to get ahead of it like a great story. Actually, I'll go into this right now for Evan. Okay. So Evan is graduating right now in computer science. Olivia is graduating right now in chemical engineering. Those are two of my kids. The other two, Levi's at college doing computer science, and Evie is a junior in high school, probably going into engineering or computer science of some type. I still think that's a great bet. I still aim at my children there because, well, I mean, if they wanted to do drama, I don't even know how to help them. Like, hey, I want to get into the movies. Great. You're on your own. Goodbye. I wouldn't kick him to the road. I'm just saying I don't know that route. And I know for the last 50, 60, 70 years, doing some sort of degree in STEM will create a millionaire if you just play your cards right and don't be stupid on spending, right? So money can be had and work is valuable in that arena. Okay, so Evan, he is applying for jobs. Let's start with this, actually. Olivia is applying for jobs. I think knowing people is going to be super helpful. And she knew a friend of mine that had an opportunity for females in engineering. She said, hey, let's talk. They got together, talked. He has known me for 40 years, and he has known her whole life. So he knows her quality. He knows her mettle and says, hey, she was never that dumb kid. Yeah, she'd be solid. She passed the recommendation on. She did the interviews. She got hired. So she has got a job based on, oh man, what's the old word? It's not nepotism. That's, I think, like it's when it's your family, but it's networking, right? It's networking. So I think with AI allowing you to be able to apply to so many jobs and them getting overwhelmed, that it's going to go back to, hey, Timmy, do you know somebody? So let me back that up. Evan is applying. I've got buddies at businesses that he's applying into their businesses, like Cox Communications. And I asked my buddy, well, Evan asked him, hey, what happened to that job? And he tells me at D&D night, yeah, they took that job down. They got too many applications. So your ability to use ZipRecruiter, Indeed, Glassdoor, and all that, and say, yes, apply, yes, apply, yes, apply. Or to create an agent that'll apply for you is so incredible that they're getting slammed with way too many resumes. So what does it do? It creates a quiet hiring process. And what is a quiet process? It's something where I'll take my buddy Justin. He says, hey, I have a position open. I'm going to reach out to the people that I know, like, and trust, and maybe headhunters that I know, and just talk to them about it. I am not going to post it online. So this job never makes it online because he doesn't want thousands and thousands and thousands of applications. He wants to narrow it down to people he would already know, like, and trust. So I think the days of like, oh, what's his name? I'll be a Huckleberry. Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp. You're friends because you're friends. Friends don't keep score. They just show up. Doc Holliday stood in for Wyatt Earp, who knew he would die when he fought Johnny Rico because he just wasn't that fast. So even sick, he said, oh, you know what? I'll go and do it. Even if I die, I guess it's better than my friend dying. I'm in. And of course he wins, but that's the type of thing. Friends will... The friendship bias will move way ahead, which I think is super important. I think it's better to hire a team of people that kind of know each other and work together well than randoms that you're unsure of. Okay, so back to Evan. He is applying to a bunch of jobs. I am actually assisting him sometimes in that application where I'll say, hey, have you thought about like Cox Communication? Have you thought about where your aunt's husband works, your uncle works? Have you thought about where your other aunt works? I don't know, whatever. I'm just giving him ideas. Have you thought about these places? Have you looked at where Joseph works? And then while he's researching one company, I'll say, I'll go look up like Joseph's company. And it's not his company. He works for like Yancey. It's like Caterpillar type company. And I'll go in there and look for jobs that are entry level and computer. Say, hey, have you looked at this? And I'll send him direct links for him to go, oh yeah, that's a good one. Thank you. And to apply for it. So that is literally the most I would do. I am not the dad that will snowplow the world out. Now, I am the dad. He said, hey, go through some of these questions with me. I'm like, sure, let's ask ChatGPT to create interview questions, and then I'll read them off to you, and you can reply. And so what we found is he was in his practice trying to read his resume. I'm like, yeah, dude, nobody hires a resume. They hire a person. So if you get a human, you need to tell him stories. He's like, okay, let me try this over. And we started over, and he was telling the story as the answer to the question, rather than, yes, I have those qualities. Here they are, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Instead, it's a story of, yes, I have those qualities. Let me tell you of a time when I enacted those qualities in a avenue of, or situation or problem or whatever at work or at an internship or at college. And that went so much better for him. So he's still interviewing. He doesn't have a job, but he's still interviewing. He's got lots of interviews, or he's got a lot of applications in. He's had, I don't know, maybe a dozen interviews, if that. Usually maybe 6. I don't know. It's a couple. He's got a couple more in the books. He's got, what is today? The 6th of April. So he has just about a month. Anyway, in the last couple months, he said, Dad, I'm really going to lay into this AI. I really like this stuff and I really want to get going with it. So he has created multiple projects and tools and things for his own edification, I just want to do it because it's fun. And so fast forward till yesterday or 2 days ago, he did a interview and then they got to the next step. And the next step was doing these code teasers like, hey, can you actually call a SQL database query, right? I don't know, whatever it was, I don't know what he was doing, but it's those type of computery things. Like, can you really print Andy across the screen? Can you make Andy go across the screen? It wasn't that easy, but it was, do you actually know computer technology and programming? Because apparently some people fake it and then you get hired and they're like, no, I have really no idea what I'm doing, but I'm in. So he passed that. And they said, hey, this next one we're going to do, I think it's on a Wednesday, we are going to ask you to tell us about these things. And one of them was how you used AI to create a project. And he's like, that's like the easiest and best thing ever. And this is what I'm saying. All of you guys should be looking at this. You should be diving in. I'm going to talk about it. I've got AI pulled up on the screen right here. Some options for you. And I forgot to say this. Hey, Andy, CrossFit Garage, come to our gym where we have AI. Just everywhere. No, we don't. We have zero AI at the gym. That's a people thing. This is something else I think is going to be big. Areas where people can actually meet. So not the bar. I mean, kind of like the bar, but not the bar. It's a gym. And we do more than just work out. Okay. So he said, you know what? I'm hoping they'll do. I'm going to ask them. I can show you some projects real quick. Let me do that. But better, do you have something you would like me to create for you right now on the spot? That's how confident he is in propelling their business. And what do you think that business is actually looking for? Man, we need somebody to help propel our business. How do we actually put AI in here correctly so that we can either be more efficient with the people we have or use the people we have to push more productivity or do the exact same thing we're doing and let people go, which, man, if it were up to me, if you said you could put AI in here and reduce your expenses by 30%, like you fire people, or increase your revenue and profit, actually not revenue, increase your profit by 30%, I would say, yeah, let's keep everybody and increase our profit. Hopefully people will do that. I don't know. When Oracle laid off 30,000 people, I question, like, who do they actually lay off? If you're laying off, like, I think the people that are in probably the biggest jeopardy is India and Indonesia, who are contract computer programmers. I think those guys are the first ones that'll be let go because they're not here. They're not with us. They're not part of us. It's just a place we went to get more compute. Well, I can buy compute. I don't really need that anymore. Woo! Man, I didn't even get through my intro. Okay, so Evan is doing well, pushing into AI. I think my joke is the geek will inherit the earth. I think this is the case where it's true. Those that nerd out and understand how to do this thing are just going to be awesome. So Randy has made a tool. Let me see if I can pull that up for you and show you some of it. Where is it? Yeah, 26 races. All right. So Randy Skeen from the gym. Nope, that's not it. That's the Google sheet. Created a tool. There it is. Randy's app. Let me pop that open and bring it over here for you to see. If you're watching this, you can see it. If you're listening, you can't see it. So he vibe coded a thing. He's not a coder. And he's like, hey, let me go in there. I got to learn this stuff. They expect us to. He works for a consultant company. And he said, Andy, this stuff was so easy to do. I can't see how people aren't utilizing it. And if they aren't, well, joke's on them, right? So we do some of these adventure races, trail runs, bike races, and all that. And we put together a Google Doc. Actually, I can just show you the Google Doc. I pulled that up on accident beforehand. So this Google Doc is a list of races that we could potentially participate in. He said, that's not good enough. Let's go even gooder. So he wrote an AI tool that screen scrapes the information that I was putting in that doc, but from everywhere, and then gives you the ability to search for the race based on, is it a trail run, ultra race, obstacle course race, adventure race, orienteering race, mountain bike race, gravel race, other? And then you can pick the state that you want or the distance from the place that you're picking, right? Sweet tool. And he just did it. He's like, it didn't take me long at all. It's that type of stuff. Did he need to do that? No. Is it pretty useful to him now? Is it basically Google Calendar? He just created his own Google Calendar, right? I did a tool that's something specific that I want and need, and boom, here it is. Now, I do see a problem in the long run. If the tools are pulling from the internet, and the internet came because I put it on there because I was like, I want people to see it, I will probably stop putting my stuff on the internet if nobody's actually looking at it. So maybe there's a direct AI uplink. Like, I don't need it on the internet. I'm just going to give it to AI. I don't know. I do see the value of like searching for things online goes away as people stop putting things online because nobody's looking at it. We're all using AI to drive what we're seeing and what we're getting. I mean, the data and the story has to get out there somehow, but I think you see what I'm saying. They're killing the delivery method, which is humans in some regard. Like, what's the benefit of me putting it on there? There's no ad revenue. People aren't seeing my thing, so whatever. Okay. We have been through something similar-ish before. Yes, not AI, I get it, but similar. So before the before the car, there was the horse. Yes, they said, hey, if we keep using horses the way we're using them here in New York City, we're going to be knee deep in horse shit. There's just no way to keep up with the amount of crap that they produce. It's a problem. Oh no, it's the end of the world. Then comes along technology. Hey, have you seen this car? Yes, it is true. The stable worker lost some jobs. The blacksmith lost some jobs. The carriage maker lost some jobs. They still exist, very niche. You can, or niche, whatever the word is, you can drill down and be a carriage maker, but it's very specific and not many people are buying them. But probably the price tag of them went way up, right? Same with the blacksmith. I bet you, since they're not a dime a dozen, they're out there everywhere, it is more expensive to utilize a blacksmith than it was back in 1820. But jobs did appear. So yes, it got rid of those jobs, but mechanics, gas stations and gas station owners, assembly line workers, highway construction, all sorts of things came up. So you can imagine the guy that was shoveling poop now is laying asphalt. I don't know. The guy that was making a carriage is now on the assembly line making cars. The blacksmith is probably a mechanic, right? So there is movement from one job to the next. Is it exact? Is it ideal? No. I'm just saying the world didn't end. It just shifted a bit. Okay. Another fun one. I love this idea here. I'm going to pull up this from Georgia Tech. So, oh, that's interesting. The picture of Georgia Tech is them walking across the street. That was funny. Let's just pull up an about Georgia Tech. So yes, it is true. I went to Georgia Tech. I wonder if I can see majors and degrees. Perfect. So they have got, oh, wow. That is more majors and degrees than I would have suspected. Interesting. They've got a whole bunch of ones that start with computer. Back when I was there, they just started computer science. No, it was computer engineering. So you could, if you were a double E, you could take 2 more classes and get a computer engineering degree. Now they've got about 20 jobs or 20 degrees listed as computer something. Oh, I see. It's minors and graduate degrees. So it's more than just the major. Cybersecurity. I wonder, well, computer science would have been up there too. Yeah, computer science, bachelor degree, master's degree, PhD. So it's listed 3 times. Anyway, a long time ago, they had something called textile engineering. It was right in the middle of campus. It was one of the biggest buildings and degrees you could get, textile engineering. While I was there, I had one guy whose kid actually now goes to the same school as my kid. So James started off as a textile engineer and then somewhere along the line said, all right, I'm out. So he was, I think, the last textile engineer at Georgia Tech. So the degrees can fade out. Did Georgia Tech fade out? No, but the idea of, this is a good one. So human to machine labor, right? So textile was super human intensive and now it's very machine intensive. If you're here in Georgia and you go up to, is it Cartersville? Not Cartersville, Dalton. If you go up to Dalton, you'll go to the carpet capital of the world and you'll see them building carpet or creating carpet. It is very machine intense. There are still people there, but way less than it used to be because carpet can be manufactured. So textiles workers, like a hand weaver, lost their job. The farm laborers that brought, say, cotton or whatever to the factory lost their job. Now, they didn't go away. There are still farms, and maybe we don't do it quite right with major ag, businesses buying out farms. That'd probably be better if families did farming, but I think everyone should have their own garden or have their own chickens, but that's me, and that's a totally different story. Actually, maybe they're all related. You wouldn't care about AI so much if your house was paid off, your debts were gone, and you had chickens making you breakfast and lunch, right? Yeah, I know. Who wants to eat egg all the time? But eating something's better than nothing. If you had a garden, you had all that. So in the world of finances, I would say get your shit in order, pay debt down. I know it's not a popular statement, but I don't know. Being out of debt feels great, and the worry is a whole lot less when weird stuff happens like this. Okay, so textile workers, those type of folks did lose their job, but you become a factory worker. You could upskill and become some sort of engineer. You could also become maintenance for the machines. Do you have the skill set? Well, maybe not. That's again, you have to upskill yourself. Actually, there's this thing called, what is it, Upwork? Upwork? Yeah, so Upwork, where you can find jobs, freelancers to do stuff. So there's still people like having great skills and then putting them in there saying, yeah, I can do it. Actually, let's put hand weaver. I don't know. Hand weaver. See if hand weaver comes up. Am I a human? I am a human. I can touch that. Let's see. Children book illustrator. Okay. It did not pick up hand weaver. Didn't even spell it correctly. That's a awesome thing about dyslexia. I don't see, oh, look, textiles, CAD. So it kind of got there. It did not like hand weaving. So that job, let's put blacksmith. Let's see what happens there. Blacksmith. All right. So this Upwork is just a place where you can hire people to do a thing. Let's see. Certified Google Ads expert. They must have like paid to be at the top because that is not what I said. I said blacksmith. There you go. The blacksmith of the internet. Oh, damn. That is awesome. Well done, Gabriel. That was not what I wanted either, but you got me. You had me at hello. Is blacksmith one word? Yeah. That's funny. Okay. You couldn't get blacksmith. It's interesting. If I do let's do voice actor. Oop, I spelled that wrong. There you go. Actor. Yeah. Voice actor came up. Jamie's in here. Coach Jamie. Coach Jamie, you're not at the top. Let me put in there Jamie, see if I can find her. Or to be actress. I don't think it matters, does it? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Man, there are a lot of people named Jamie. Okay, anyway, so you can find business work things in here, right? I mean, you could probably put anything in here. Let's see. Dog poop scooper. All right, that one didn't come up. But I have a guy who has a business doing this. So if you need someone to scoop your poop, let me know. I know a guy. Okay, so the machines can replicate tasks that are repetitive, both cognitively and physically. First, it was a physical. Hey, we can make a machine that'll twist and tie that for us. Perfect. Now we have a machine, AI, that can reproduce cognitive what we do. Now, we kind of already had this before. We could create macros that would kind of like do a thing, click a thing. It just wasn't as intuitive as what this AI is doing. This allows people like Randy to say, hey, I don't know how to code, but I just made a thing. Yeah, and he deployed it, and I could actually get to it. That's super awesome. Another time when this happened was paper to the internet. Verity's family used to be big time into paper, and they're like, that's going to kill the market. And they were like, nah, it's not. Trust me. And so, yes, maybe we print less things nowadays, or not print, we handwrite less things, but we print more than we ever have because it's a thing now, right? And cardboard boxes with Amazon and all that, the shipping, paper is being used probably more than it ever has. So no, it didn't go away. It did shift. So potentially the things that were lost in that industry change were like typists or people that would file like papers into like filing cabinets like behind me. I still keep some hard copies of things. Everyone should keep some hard copies. The old fax machine, that industry, it's still around, but very niche, just like the building a carriage. But what it did create, it took those people and said, hey, if you're a typist, could you do something else? Could you be a coder, right? Could you move your skills into digital marketing? If you were filing stuff, Could you go into like data storage, right? I know it's not exactly the same thing. Yes, it is. It's storing data, but it does it tremendously different. But could you get yourself there? Could you move your whole business into something like a software as a service, like Wodify or something, right? Could you move your skills into those things? Sometimes the answer is no. Sometimes the answer is maybe, and sometimes it's yes. But if you don't even try, then you'll never know, right? So what we're looking here is basically speed and efficiency will always win because one, people want to be lazy. I mean, not me, but some people do. And two, companies want to be profitable. And so you make profit by creating new things that people want or taking the old thing and getting better at doing it. Efficiencies, right? All right, I need to get my hot coffee. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so yes, there will be disruptions. But no, I don't think it's like every human will be home doing nothing. I mean, think about that. That doesn't even make any sense. Quite literally, if they said, hey, every human has lost their job, go away, then the humans would not make any money and they would have no money to spend. And the companies that were being super efficient were like, well, shoot, now we're really efficient, but there's nobody to buy our stuff because nobody has any money. So that doesn't even make any sense. So at the very least, there is some sort of supply and demand where you can't create a society where there isn't some sort of transaction because, I mean, right now, most of the things we're doing, it's leisure. A car, leisure. You don't have to have a car to live. A house, leisure, right? These things that we buy are to better ourselves or for convenience sake. Now, we should have shelter and we should have some sort of transportation, but it doesn't have to be, 4,000 square foot house or whatever, 2,000 square foot house or a Ford F-150. It could be other stuff. So the things that we're typically doing are leisure. The things that aren't leisure that we buy are like food. Well, you could literally grow your own if you knew how. And that's the bigger problem is I think there's going to be a resurgence of the skills we used to have. We already see that. The number of people, when I tell them I have a gym, the number of people who ask about that is like zero. But the number of people who then say, but do you have chickens is like 1 billion. So people want to know about chickens. When I tell people I have rental property, they don't ask about that. They're like, hey, but do you have chickens? So they want to know, how do you make a chicken like lay an egg? Well, I mean, it's easy. That's literally just what they do. Oh, I forgot to tell you about, so I had a thing up here. I pulled it up, Union Camp. It's not gone. So they make paper. Then I had something else like AutoCAD. It's still here. AutoCAD 2027. It's here. AutoCAD is what they use to draw stuff. I don't think the robots will take that. When a human has to sign off on a thing, that's going to be, actually, this is a good one. They used to have drafting tables and then AutoCAD came. Are there still people doing designs for buildings and stuff? So AutoCAD is think of a guy that was sketching on a huge table and they would draw out like what a building was going to look like. That went away when a tool, a software came out that could do it. Those people, yes, I didn't need as many of them. I just needed better ones and those that could work faster on this, on the GUI, on the AutoCAD. Can a computer do that? For sure. Can AI do this? For sure. I think what you'll see is you'll tell AI, hey, build this out for me. This is what the customer asked for. Give me a couple things to start from, bones to start from, and then let's start working together. So you're going to see a lot of coming together of, I don't like spending the time to actually put a light in every single spot. Put the lights in where they're supposed to go, and then let me go back and look at it. So I think you'll see a lot of those things. Oh, then we get to the AI daily brief. I'll come to that in a minute. So AI, I'm going to go to the positive side. What can you be doing and what is it doing and where does it land? It can write. It can write code. It can analyze, it can design, and it can automate decisions. So it can do a lot for us. I think the thing that I use it mostly for is give me something written better than I would write it. And usually can pull the words out of me. Yes, I would have gotten there, but it gets there so much quicker. The other is I have it design stuff for me. Give me a picture of that. I just love that it'll whip out pictures. In my head, I can be creative. I cannot get that onto a piece of paper, musically or artistically. It just won't come out. It looks like a stick figure. I don't know why. There's just something wrong in my brain that doesn't happen. Now, on the flip side, you give me a topo map running an adventure race or a orienteering race, the lines of the map just make sense to me. Okay, it still needs some sort of direction, a context, some judgment, or maybe even the people skills. Actually, sometimes I feel like it has better people skills than I have. It's infinitely patient. Although I feel like sometimes it's demeaning, like, oh, here's an Andy take on it because you're just a measly human and aren't too smart, so sometimes that's annoying. But you can utilize these tools into what you're doing rather than lose your job to the tool. Okay, so I would start using the tools. I got a list of them. Let me pull that up first. Where's my list? So I have a list of tools that you should go and try. So originally it was just a large language model, LLM. Essentially what they did is said, hey, here's all of our work. Just get used to that. And then what it would do is predict the next word, which is still kind of what it's doing, except it's doing it at a much grander scale. So predict the word that should come next. So for example, if I said once upon a, the word is time. It's going to say time. This is why I had a hard time counting. Once upon a time. It's like 99% is going to be that word time. If I gave you the numbers 4562, what number comes next? It's like, I don't know. In the world of numbers, any number could come next. I don't know. This is why it had a hard time with that. Numbers don't work the same way. Now, if I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to be 5 because I was going in order. If it's not in order, then it's anything, which creates, there's no model for it. It's just whatever. If you put in there, frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn, right? Because that's what comes next, right? Now, that's not a great example. In the beginning is probably everyone knows that one, right? So that's what a large language model was technically doing. When it drew a picture, it simply was doing what pixel most likely comes next. When I create a monkey, what pixel would make the shape of a monkey? Well, I've seen monkeys before, so I can put the next pixel down to make that, right? When you then ask it to be more creative, like before, it was hard with hands. It's like, it's too fine, and people do weird things with their hands. It's not as predictable, right? So the model is not as strong. Anyway, so that's general chat. So you have ChatGPT. It's the one that I've been using forever. Claude, Gemini, those are good ones. They keep coming out with better. And they keep bringing all of the models together. So eventually you'll just be able to use one. Now, Google just did something that I think is quite clever. They said, okay, it's free. It's a really good one and it's free. So everyone usually has a free model, but they have one called, I think it's Gemma 4 that I'll get to, that not only is free, but it runs on your system. So the compute is being pushed off as well. So, well, not all of it, but the safety concerns go down. So a problem with some of these things is, it's like back in the days of PayPal. In 2008, someone said, hey, use PayPal, just pay me that way. I'm like, I'm not putting my information into some stupid thing called PayPal by some turd named Elon. What a dumb name, right? Then you're like, okay, I'll totally do it. So in the year 2026, I'm like, yeah, PayPal, Venmo, I'm going to pay somebody on Venmo like $1,000. Like, what the hell? That didn't even exist. Well, damn, it's been 20 years. Wow, it didn't exist 20 years ago. Man, time flies. So we will do those things. So do you want to put a software on your computer that essentially is malware? It is an active component that can take control and do things under your direction, but certainly under somebody else's direction. I'm sure they have a tie-in back to their own system. Why wouldn't they? They always do. There's always a way to hack your stuff. So that is a risk. I don't use that on my computer because I log into financial stuff on my computer. I remember the passwords. I never put them in, but maybe it has a keylogger. So I don't want that to be out there. My plan is to get another laptop that I just run this stuff on. Yeah, what, another $1,000 investment? I think it's worth it. So I'll be doing that. Okay, so those are general ones. Coding, Cursor, GitHub, Copilot, Codo. Actually, it's funny that I didn't even say Claude Code. That's weird. Audio, video is Veo, Cynthia, and 11 Labs. I've used them a lot. I like their audio stuff. Let me pull this up. Can I pull that up? Man, Buzzsprout. I have got, I think it's this. Maybe. So I've got one where I read the level 1 manual. Oh, it's not going to show you how many people have downloaded it. Yeah, so I've got, where is it? That is Episode 194, CrossFit Level 1 Training Guide, read by Andy to help you study and prepare. It's not really read by me. I think if you click on it, it's like, no, this is AI Andy. So did I not even say that? Maybe I should go back and say that. Send us mail. Oh, I didn't. Oops. I need to go back in there and say, it's AI Andy. It's not actually Andy. I could never, I sent it to my kids and like, I know it's not you because you can't read that well out loud. I'm like, yeah, that's very true. I cannot. Productivity, they have Notebook LM. I've used that as well. I'm not as big a fan, though they've wrapped that together in, that's Google's, they've wrapped it together in their other stuff. Notion and Zapier. So interesting, I've used Zapier to connect other tools. This is what I was saying before. It connects the tools together that I want together. Was it already AI before the time? Not exactly, but yes. Images, so they got Leonardo, Ideogram, and Recraft. I actually just use ChatGPT. I don't need like super intense stuff. I just need a picture to like post a thing, and it works really well. My point is there's a ton of tools. If it's overwhelming, just start with ChatGPT or Claude and or Gemini, you'll be doing fine. If I had to start over, actually, I would probably start with, let me pull this one up for you, this Gemma 4, because it's on your device. So this is a Google tool, and let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to click into, let me pause you guys and do a little quick read. Okay, so I didn't see anything that I wanted to tell you on it, but I want to point this out. So in their debrief of their own thing, they're like, safety. Gemma 4 models undergo the same rigorous infrastructure security protocol as our proprietary model. So this is an open source model. I like open source better because it allows for independent input. And most of the time, the independent input is trash. But every once in a while, there's an Elon Musk who adds a thing and everyone's like, damn, that was awesome, right? So it says by choosing Gemma, that's a weird word, Gemma, I don't know. Gemma 4 enterprise and sovereign organizations gain a trusted, transparent foundation that delivers state-of-the-art capabilities while meeting the highest standards for security and reliability. So what are they saying there? Hey, we know putting this stuff is a virus on your computer, and the only way we can actually like make it better is by giving you control. So it used to be if you wanted Excel, you would pay Microsoft and say, hey, $20, I would like Excel. And you would go to some place, get a DVD, and then load it, or a CD, and load it onto your computer. And you would have Excel on your computer, and you paid them $20, and that's all you'd ever pay. You'd never get any updates, but I guess it never got broke because it would never update. And then they said, you know what? We could do better than that. Instead of them paying $20, let's have them pay $20 every month. So super annoying. Everything just got a boost in their cost. And people are like, yeah, well, I really like Excel. So yeah, let's go ahead and pay for it. So they're doing the same thing here in reverse. They're giving it out there. Now their approach is, I think, in the scheme of what's going on, Google is behind. And it's not just behind in AI. It's also OpenAI has nothing else but ChatGPT. So that's all their eggs in that basket. Google is already a business. It gets ad revenue from Google and search engines and all that, as well as YouTube. They bought that. So actually, let me pull up what does, I think it's ABC Company is what owns them. Okay, yeah, I was right. So it's Alphabet Inc. owns Google, and they own a lot of stuff. So let me try to see. They own YouTube, Waymo, Nest, Fitbit. What? I didn't know that. Waze, I knew that. They bought it. DoubleClick, I don't even know what that is. Mandiant, Locker, and a bunch of other ones. Calio, Verily, GV, Capital G, Google Fiber, Wing, Isometric Labs, X Development, Intrinsic, and then a bunch more. So they own a bunch of stuff. The big thing is, actually, I wonder what makes them, YouTube makes them, damn. So they acquired YouTube in 2006 for $1.6 billion. It doesn't say how, actually, you know what? I probably could find out how much they make. Their market cap is $3 trillion right now with the things that they've got. That would be an interesting question. What is the best, how do they make money? How do they make money? Let me see what it says. So it's interesting. Even you can't get away from it. I'm using the Brave browser, and in the Brave browser, it's giving me an AI output. it's doing the research for me. I'm not even going through. This is what I'm saying. There's going to be a shift. And this is Google's problem. They are like, hey, nobody's using our tool. Not nobody, but they're not using our tools. We already make money. How do we disrupt this? We want all of our tools to work together, and we want to disrupt that other technology that's screwing us. Let's give it away for free. So they've screwed everybody in that market because they're like, hey, we're going to give the best and the brightest for free because we can make money doing the other stuff. You guys can't. So they're going to have to go to free as well. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to compete, right? If they're all models are going to the same, then they're going to be the only one that's out there because it's free. Everyone will choose free. Well, not everybody, but okay. So let's move on. Man, 40 minutes? Son of a gun. I just love this subject. All right. So what jobs are at risk? Man, everybody is at risk to some degree, just like anything. This is why, like, I'm in the prepping world. I do a bit for this guy called the Survival Podcast, Jack Spirko. The Survival Podcast. It's modern day survival. He wants to help people live a better, good life now if times are bad or even if they're not. I'm on his expert council. I do a bit. I love this stuff. I have chickens. I try to pay off debt. All of that stuff. The biggest risk to you is the normal things. Also, the biggest risk for you is like, hey, I turned 50 and now I entered the drop dead years. Take care of that. There's bigger risks than AI coming for your job. Yes, you should be concerned about that. But if you don't exercise or eat well, then who cares? You'll be dead before this thing happens, right? Major in the majors. It's how you eat, sleep, move, think, and connect. That stuff is important. If you're not alive, it doesn't matter, right? So the industries that'll be affected. After you take care of the other stuff, yes, know this and think about this. Basic data entry. Yeah, I can take things and get it into the internet or out pretty quick. Low-level customer support. This one's pretty cool. Many people would rather, these days, especially the younger groups, would rather talk to some sort of AI, some sort of robot or bot than a human. I don't know why. They're not afraid to say the words there, but when they talk to a human, they're nervous. So low-level support, yeah. Also, in the low-level support, 90% of the questions are the same questions. So you don't need a human answering it. It makes you just like hate work when you answer the same thing over and over and over. Simple content writing. I don't ask for help anymore from anybody. I just throw it in ChatGPT. I am as simple as they get. Repetitive office roles. I have not used AI for that yet. Well, is that not, maybe not true. I guess repetitive could be, I need to make a picture. And so I do like put that out there. But I think they're thinking of office roles as in like clerical, like on the computer. I still do all of my stuff on my own. I suppose I am using Intuit for bookkeeping, and they've wrapped in some AI. Like it predicts like, hey, this looks like this thing again. Is it, that category? You spent, I don't know, $100 at the dry cleaners. Is that marketing again? Whatever, right? So it gives some ideas. Of course, they were doing that before. I don't really feel like that's AI. That's just predictive texting. That's like when you start typing a word. If you're typing, I know, hippopotamus, it looks very particular. Once you get to HIPPO, right? And there's like, oh, it's a hippopotamus. I already know that. There's not many other words it can be, right? And some of the junior side roles for everything, but especially things where it's logic based, code, lawyer, things like that, where the rule sets are very specific. If it's repeatable, then it can be replaced. You don't want a super repeatable task, which I had a problem with in the work world. I would see the job as like, damn, I'm going to have a hard time becoming an expert in this, eventually become an expert in it, and be like, man, this is super boring because I'm an expert in it. And so then I would challenge myself by moving on or taking on more projects or products. So am I AI becoming more efficient? Yeah, I'm doing more with the same amount of me. So they would get more out of me. So some things that I think that are going to pop up and become a thing is like AI prompt engineer. That's not even, actually at Georgia Tech, let me just do a search. Prompt. No, prompt engineer isn't on there. I mean, I feel like it should be. AI, is that on there? Oops, it's too many. No, just the word AI is not there. Artificial? Applications, artificial intelligence and machine learning as a minor. So yes, they do at least have something in there at Georgia Tech. Yeah, I wonder if prompt engineering degree, where? Can you get a prompt engineering degree? Bachelor of Science in, you can get a Bachelor of Science in Artificial Intelligence and Prompt Engineering. AIPE is what it's called. And you can. There are, there's two, one offering a Bachelor of Science. That's it. The other ones are certificates or like minors. Fascinating. Okay. So the other ones are automation specialists. So I've been telling my boys, hey, in 1996, people would pay you $30,000 to build them a website because they didn't know how to use HTML, hypertext markup language. I don't know. It's not that hard. You just type it out. But my brain works that way. Other people found it really hard. Also, the owner of a business doesn't want to spend the time to make a website. They want somebody else to make them a website. Who better? Though the nerdy snot-nosed kid who's like, well, I'm a computer dork. I know how this works. They're like, great, let me hire you. We have friends of the family who did quite well growing up just doing that and then built a business off of it. I think this is going to come up, an automation specialist. It's like Publix going, I need, every Publix store will have a software engineer because they're going to be able to be like, let's automate the shit out of this, right? It's like was it Mark Wahlberg that was on Mars who said, we're going to engineer the shit out of this? So, right? AI assisted marketeers, data analysts, AI trainers and evaluators, content creators using AI. I think they're already doing that one. If you're not, then you're going to get lost behind. So the people using AI will replace the people not using AI, and the people not using it will be let go. It's kind of like my grandfather was a spreadsheet for Ford. And we showed him Lotus 1-2-3 back in, I don't know, was it like somewhere in the 80s or early 90s? And he's like, well, damn, I'm glad I retired because the computer did what he did. The computer did it in seconds. It would take him a day to follow one calculation through a spreadsheet to come out with the answer of 2, right? Where the spreadsheet would do it instantaneously, and you could change the algorithms and the variables or the calculations, the formulas, instantaneously, but super quick. Okay. So some areas that I would say, if you're just starting out, what would I do? So parents, if you've got kids, if you're a parent, you have a kid, right? Kids, if you're listening to this, here's what I would do. I would still aim towards STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Why? Because people don't want to do it. People, for whatever reason, are just freaking lazy, and they're like, I don't want to do it. If you look at, actually, let me look that up. Let's see, STEM students versus not. I don't see if that comes up. I don't think that's a good enough sentence. Let me look up percentages or ratios. So STEM majors are significantly more likely to graduate within 4 to 6 years than non-STEM majors. That's not what I was asking, but that's interesting. I was curious, more enrollment ratios. There you go. So yeah, so it's like less than 30% in that ratio, a 9-to-1. So that would be less or a little bit more than 10%. So there's just a lot less people going into STEM. So one, the competition is less. 2, if you can put your brain and your social skills together, you make a much better person. Just remember, take a shower, damn it. So STEM people don't have to smell. Please shower. So engineering, I would lean on that. Any type of engineering. I think there's a breakdown where they were saying like electrical and mechanical, because electrical, without the hardware, the software doesn't even work. So hardware is going to be important, especially if Tesla really makes all these robots. I really think this electrical and mechanical are going to be in high demand because it's not that hard to solder stuff, but some of you just freaked out when I said, let's solder something. They're like, it's not that hard. Evie soldered over 2020 when everyone was staying home for 2 weeks, which turned out to be a year. She soldered several projects together. We just went on Amazon and you can just type in Amazon. Solder is a weird word. It actually has an L in there. Soldering projects. There you go. Soldering practice kits. There's some soldering practice kits that you could do. And that's what we did over those long 2 weeks to shut down the world or to reopen the world or whatever. Okay. Oh man, I didn't even tell you about this. So one of the AI podcasts that I listen to, it's a YouTube channel, but it's also a podcast. It's called the AI Daily Brief with, let's see, if you do at AI Daily Brief, all one word, and does it have the guy's name on it? No. The current picture that he's got up, I think that changes all the time. It's got a short daily videos on AI. I like it. It's got good information. I actually learned something in that I was able to help Evan with. He was running a project beside me, and he's like, I need my laptop to get back on Wi-Fi. So I plugged in our Wi-Fi box. So he was running something. He's like, well, now it doesn't work. I'm like, hey, so I heard this the other day. Your Wi-Fi probably took port 3000, and that's what port it's probably trying to use. He's like, well, that'd be weird if that's true. Turns out it was true. So this AI Daily Brief helped me troubleshoot a problem that he had that I had no idea if it was really the problem. Turned out it was. So Daddy knows something. Anyway, I still think computer science is going to be huge. I think it's going to be do you know a guy? Yeah. Do you know a computer science guy? Everybody's best friend. Like, it used to be the dude who could help you change your oil. Now it's going to be the computer science guy that can do anything, right? Hey, can you make me a website? That used to be the thing. And sort of anybody could do it. Now the computer science people, those that know AI, I don't know if it's computer science, but those that know, and that computer science is going to drive you down that road. I think it's going to be one of the few majors that even matters anymore. Obviously healthcare, because you need people to touch people. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean. Although I've got a buddy at the gym, Nick, who said that they're man, I'm going to blow it. But don't let facts interrupt a good story. So he does MRI technology with AI. I think it's MRI. And he said the AI is like 97% accurate. And when doctors that suck use it, they become like 98% accurate. So he's like, it's better when you have sucky doctors using the AI than doctors that are good at it because they don't want to trust it. So it's fascinating what's already occurring in there. And then, of course, skilled things. Until the robots actually get here, these 10 little digits at the end of our hands, our fingers, make us, one of the few things that can do a multitude of tasks. So we can squeeze, we can grip, we can fine tune, we can swivel. Our fingers give us an unparalleled advantage over most things until the Optimus robot gets here, right? Or whatever it's called. So if you want to go into the trades, I would never intentionally, this is me, I'm not saying you can't do this. You do you, buckaroo. I don't care. You're not my wife. You're not my kid. You're not my brother. Or my sister. I don't care. Do whatever you want. But if it were me, I would never send my kid for a history degree, an English degree, a museum science degree, a drama degree. One, I don't understand those and how that business would work. But two, I just don't see how many of those things are replaced. I mean, if I really wanted to know history, I could ask. All that stuff is in there, right? If it's easy and many people get that degree, let's find out. What is the most common college degrees? What is the most? That's bad English. Yeah, so I would stay away from a couple of these. The most popular college majors in 2021: business, health, sciences, and history. Wow, it's a huge percent of business. 20% of the majors were business. Stay away from that. 15% health. Okay, I did say it was a good one. Maybe, I don't know. Social sciences and history, 10%? Or 7.4, it's close to 10%. I don't know. Then you look down here in like engineering, 6%, computers, 5%, visual and performing arts, 4%, education, 4%, communication and journalism, 4%. So, you know what? I don't know what else there could be. What other, I guess there's a lot more majors, but I feel like it hit all the areas. So 20% of them were in business. I always feel like the business people are in trouble. I think Excel, Google Sheets, whatever, it's taking that sort of business big time. But that's just me. I don't know. I mean, you go out there and look at it yourself. But I would always encourage my kids to do something tough, especially with their brain. It's hard to replicate cognitive skills. It's easy to replicate those things that we're looking at. Riskier things would be those and, low general skills. If it's easy, then it's probably not worth it. I mean, they already talk about the trap of college. Like, do you even want to go to college? Well, I mean, for some of the stupid stuff, no. Like, what are the? Actually, let me just ask: what college degrees are most likely over due to AI? Oop, I spelled that kind of wrong, but I do like the fact that it picks up what I actually was trying to say. All right. Degrees less likely to be replaced in high emotional intelligence. Yeah, I would agree with that. Physical interaction. I agree with that. Or complex judgment. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Interesting. So it's saying that education, counseling, social workers, nursing, and trade jobs are least likely to be replaced. I would disagree with that immensely. I like the education. I learn more from what I'm doing on the AI. I don't know, but I get what they're saying. Like the interaction, potentially the teacher goes away and there's an emotional support person for the school. I don't know. I would disagree with some of that. And I know psychologists that use AI already. But I think that's a good way to do it. Lean into it, use it smartly. Don't let it get away from you. Understand what it's doing out there. Okay. What else do I want to talk to you about? So what can you do to get with the game, get on the product, be part of the team? I mean, open up something like Claude Code and just do something. I don't know how to code. That's okay. You don't have to use Claude Code. Use something else. What was the other one that I just said? Like Gemma? Where'd Gemma go? Gemma. Edit? Yeah, here it is. Gemma models. Download this guy and start trying it out. What could you do? Man, do anything. Just ask it to make a picture first. Just say, hey, here's a picture of my family. Redo this picture, but make us in medieval armor. Boom, done, right? Look at your job. If you have to write an email, say, here is the email string. Write me an email saying, yes, I agree, and see what it does. And you're like, well, I could have just done that. I know. I'm just saying, get a feel for what it can do, and then lift this skill up. Say, I would like to create something like, let's say you have tasks at your job that are repetitive. How can you use a model like this to, you can literally ask it. Man, I should have, you know what I'll do next time? I will just download this thing on my other computer and I'll make a whole episode of me actually creating something real time for you. You could probably go to YouTube and watch those all. Actually, why can't you, right? Watch me real time make an AI agent product. I don't know. Watch me build and sell AI apps live. Yeah. So watch me create a faceless YouTube channel in 33 minutes. That's 2 weeks ago. Still pretty impressive. Let's see. Oh, that's the same guy right here. 1 hour. Watch me build an AI digital product in an hour. I'm probably going to watch that because she's got me. I'm interested. Watch what they do. Try it. Practice. Do a thing. You can't break it. So jump on in. Hey, if you're part of us at the gym, you could say, hey, here are the actually, why don't I do that? Let me pause you. That would be an interesting one. Let me see what it comes up with. Okay, so I'm going to do this with you. I'm in ChatGPT. I'm going to say, let's go build me a week of programming based on the CrossFit. Let me pause you and type all this out. Okay. So I said, build me a week of program. I spelled things wrong. It's okay. Based on the CrossFit methodology, considering the past workouts we've done from my website link here. And I put in, if you go to our website, you can actually just read all the workouts. So it'll be able to go through and read those. It said, what workouts would I do over the next 7 days to keep the CrossFit methodology alive? Let's go. Let's see what it says. So it's searching the web. It says, I couldn't pull the exact recent history. Oh, that's interesting. You could have. Okay, so it didn't know it. So I want it to, let's go back and retrain this. So I've got my website. It can see the workouts. I wonder if it can't read those for some reason. Copy. Let's do this. I'm going to ask it a specific question. Okay, so what I'm going to say is I'm going to change this up and pause you. Okay, so what I did is I said, can you read this site? Put it back in there. I said, here's the example. And I just listed out the one from the 6th. And I said, can you read that? This was for the date 2026 4/6, right? So it's telling him it's April 6th, 2026. Does that make sense? Actually, let's add that in there. Does that make sense? Can you read the other dates? Let's see what it says. And my website's public, so it should be able to actually read that just fine. Okay, what's going on with your site? Your WAD crossovers. Oh, it's dynamically loaded JavaScript. So I can't scroll like a human and grab it. Oops. That's why he can't compare. What I can confirm, so what I can do instead is I can paste in. So let me just do this. I am just going to paste in. Can I highlight all of it? Yeah, I can. So I'm going to highlight for it. So now I've realized the problem. And see where we're troubleshooting. I realized the problem. It cannot see a JavaScript. So it doesn't have eyeballs, right? So I'm going to say, let me help. Here they are. Now create 7 more days for me. All right. So I just highlighted and pasted it in. It's like, okay, I got it. It's saying, oh, this is exactly what I needed. Thank you so much. You're so awesome. I love how affirming it is. So what would it do for me next? Okay, so day 1 would be a squat strength short burner. So I'm curious. That was the 6th. So let me look. Let me pause you guys. Okay, so I'm comparing it against what they actually programmed. It's actually kind of close. So I love it. He said, it goes, well, it's going to be wake your legs or something. And there is a leg intensive workout. It's got double unders, burpees, wall walks. I guess that's some shoulders too. Then it has a sprint interval. We don't do sprint intervals, but the next day it says, hey, we're going to do some strength. And for us on the 8th, we have strength. So it's a little bit backwards, but it is interesting that it is keeping the flow. So yeah, mobility, hips, ankles, shoulders, and we're doing some toes to bar. So zone 2, that's the same day. Sorry, it's optional recovery. And we do have deadlifts in there that aren't heavy. Yeah. That's interesting. It's close-ish. It's not exactly the same because, again, it's not specific rules. It's general policies on what we do. Constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity. But there's AI. I just did a thing. Could I use this programming? I mean, yeah, I could use it. Do I want to use that? I don't know. Here's the thing, totally different subject. Here's the thing on programming. Whenever we had somebody that we know, like, and trust, that's a human in the gym programming, it gets dicey because someone says, I freaking hate this programming. And who do they hate? Now, whoever did the programming. Everyone takes it personal. So if Timmy's programming and Mike says, I hate the programming, Timmy takes it personal. And then he's like, well, fine, I'll try to change it. Then he changes it. And the other guy who loved the programming says, why'd you change it? So now he has been influenced and he's pissing people off by not being himself. And it so far in 20 years has not gone well. The programmer gets pissed off because not everybody loves what he's doing exactly to the way he loves it. The other thing is if you have somebody programming and they decide, I don't know, to open a gym right next door, then, well, I mean, hey, if everybody liked that programming, then it would kind of make sense to follow his programming because he's the one that's doing it. So it creates a very unstable business. One of the best ways I've found to keep us stable is like, hey, we do CrossFit, we follow CrossFit. You can't get more CrossFit than going to CrossFit and saying, give me your programming, because who's creating the programming? CrossFit. So the workout of the day. So they've got the workout of the day, and we actually kind of follow what they program online now is what we're doing in the gym. Let's see. Do they give us more? Yeah, they don't give as many details on it, but they do. It's the same stuff, right? So they give us more coaching notes and other details that we can use for the program. Okay. What else did I want to tell you about AI? Don't worry. Be happy. No, you should worry a tiny bit, but in the sense that you're doing smart things about it, not like being afraid. So if you're like me and you're 50 and you're like, oh no, I just need to hold on for 10 more years to retire, that is a bad way to look at work, but I get you. You want your retirement funds to be in the right place. One, I'd say invest better. If you need better investment people, let me know. I know people. If you're on your own, you're unsure of when to retire and all that, that's just really bad. You should have talked to somebody by now. So you're not too late. You can use these models and you can upskill yourself. It's just like anything else. It's just using a tool. So you don't need to be a programmer. You just got to stop being a stubborn asshole. Come on in and get on board. If you're a kid, look at Evan and Levi. They're doing great with what they're doing. Evan's leaning in hardcore. I bet you he's going to turn around and be like, Levi, here's the things that I did. Let me help you out and get there ahead of time. I will say this, there is no better degree for a kid coming out of college than work experience. So, well, shouldn't he just go get work experience and not actually do this, like go to college? Possibly. But I have a message from Verity that it was a snapshot of somebody else's post on Facebook. It was a UGA STEM parents post or whatever, like engineering or whatever it was. Anyway, it said, I got several students who've had hundreds of applications out there and they're not a single interview. My question back to them would be, well, did they do anything else at college besides drink and school, right? Probably not. I always assume I don't know why. Every time I think of a college kid, I think of a boy. I guess because I went through college as a boy, but it doesn't have to be a boy. It could be a girl. So my typical answer for why boys fail out of school or aren't interested in other stuff, it's the 3 Bs: books, boobs, and beer. So it's got to be one of those 3 things. Otherwise, they're not interested. Hopefully they're interested in books. Sometimes they're not even interested in that. And that's what gets them kicked out of school. They focused on the other 2 Bs. Okay. So lean into it. If you need help, can I help you? Yes. Do you want my specific type of help? I mean, I'll give you some guidance, but I am not going to probably sit down with you and build a project. I'm the type of guy who says, hey, here's a hammer. Here's how it works. Good job. Go for it. On the flip side, Evan may do that for you. He may even build your product or project, whatever it is, for you. So if you need Evan, let me know. Levi, same thing. Those 2 kids are pretty stellar on this stuff. I think the divide isn't smart versus dumb or old versus young. It's just it's those that won't do, like the stubborn, and those are not willing to try. Like, again, if you're one of those, I'm silently quitting. I mean, I can't help you. You're just not even my type of person. You and I will never be friends, and we will fight each other every step of the way. So it's just how it is. If you're saying to yourself, this whole thing is stupid, I don't know, maybe that's the adjective to describe you. Is it? Maybe not, but maybe. Don't be dumb. Like, lean into this stuff. Learn some skills. Learn some new things. It's really not that tough. It's possibly not that safe. But if your company is saying, hey, everyone should be using AI and you're not, yeah, then you're probably the one going out. They want to see who's doing it, who can increase their efficiencies. That's just what they're into, right? Some jobs will get replaced. Other jobs will get created. Keep your ideas open. Don't be stuck with, well, I'm only a buggy whip guy. I only make buggy whips. So I think the question I'd ask yourself is like, what? You can even ask ChatGPT this. This is my position in my job. What ways could I be using AI to help become more efficient and better at my job? It'd probably give you ideas. It doesn't care. All right. What else? I guess I want to land on 2 things. One, if you need help, I am there. If you're one of my people, if you're a member, if you're one of my inner group, you know I'm there. I have a saying that I stole from a book called He Who Fights with Monsters. Friends don't keep score, they just show up. And I'm working hard to the opposite of my buddy Justin. He likes to silo his world. The 2 peanut butter and chocolate shall never touch. I want all of my people together. I want to Venn diagram my life. I'm looking for people who are into the same things. I figure we'll go long and well together into life. Like Jordan, awesome dude. He's into CrossFit. He's into D&D and Warhammer. He's into board games. He's into adventure racing. He's into his family. He's into remodeling. He's into animals. He's a vet, for crying out loud. He's into crafting. He made his own bow. I mean, this guy and I overlap in so many things. The only difference is I'm like 20 years older. So Can we be friends? Hell yeah. Unfortunately, we'll die first, but we can be friends while, and really good friends. I love listening to the stories. Like we had something the other day. Golly, what was it? I don't know. It was like, hey, but what about the Navy fleet in World War II? And he's like, well, here's an actual story for that. The guy knows stuff. I love hearing that things. It's find your people, find the people that integrate. And I'm going to land on this. Come to the gym. If you're in Woodstock, it's a start. If you're like, I like productivity, I like to get started, come to the morning crew. If you're like, I like my evening well sorted, then find the evening crew. I do enjoy, like every once in a while, a morning guy will come to the evening or vice versa. And like Randy and Alan were at the gym. Alan just came back. And I was like, hey, Randy, Alan, come here. You don't know this, but y'all will be best of friends. I love you both so much that you guys could only be friends. That's the only thing that'll happen. And I love it. Randy's like, okay, I'm in full on. Alan, on the other hand, lifts his eyebrow and he's like, okay, this is another one of those Andy things, isn't it? So they got to talking, but it's that your people are here. If you're that type of person, we can find those, right? Not everybody's into this exactly the same stuff like chickens. Actually, Jordan is also into chickens, but you're going to find people through adversity, and CrossFit is fake adversity. I don't really want to live in a van down by the river, but it's good to have the fake adversity because adversity builds bonds and it builds commonality and it builds a baseline of a thing to grow from. And CrossFit can be certainly adverse if you want it to be. It doesn't have to be. Come to the gym, meet people. Come to the gym, fix the things that you should first. Worry about your health before you worry about AI. Come to the gym and meet and grow. It's good stuff. So we're in Woodstock, Georgia. We are across from Black Rifle Coffee. And if you don't live near me, that's totally fine. Say, Andy, help me find a gym. Tell me roughly the crossroads where you're at. We'll go look up a gym. Email me. That'd be the easiest way. And we'll find you something that makes sense. I already helped one of my good friends, Dorothy, find a gym. She wanted to gain muscle and thinking creatine, but she's like, I don't know if that's the right way to go. And I'd say, you know what? I'd probably find a gym like us. So I called the guy. He and I talked, the owner, for like 20 minutes. I was like, this guy and I agree on almost everything. This is going to be great. So we'll see. I mean, he could be as much of an asshole as me, or he could be awesome. Anyway, I'm here for you. You guys take care. AI will not take over the world unless you let it. And then it'll be Skynet and we'll all be batteries and dead anyway.